Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys checking out today's video and spending some of your time with me. I always appreciate that. And guys, today we're gonna do one more video on this whole topic of the Bassmaster's recent announcement a couple days ago that they're changing their live scope rules to where they can only use it, and I think it's going to be 5 out of the 9 tournaments. And I want to make the case why the term like professional angler on the Bassmaster Elite Series and to the MLF Bass Pro Tour, to a little bit lesser extent, but still to some extent, the delineation of a pro angler is a freaking joke. And I want to get into that today's video. Curious to get your guys' opinion on it. So I really appreciate you guys joining me for today. I'm also, guys, thank you very much. Everybody has taken time this past week to hit that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate that, guys. It's free and easy to do so. Good way to help the channel. And also, guys, real quick, we do have my Fish the Moment fall lake map breakdowns up on the site right now. So if you're interested in getting one, I'll put the link in the description. These are great resources, guys, to learn more about your favorite lake and get some good fishing places on it, or a lake you've never been to before. These are maps that I've built for Fish the Moment specifically. It's taken me years to build them, so I'll have all that link and all those links in the description. Really appreciate that. Okay, right off the bat, guys, I'm gonna say the premise of this video, and I'm gonna explain it as the fact that if you have not earned, but if you are identified as a professional bass angler in this country, and that's a very broad definition anymore. It used to be just if you fish the Bassmaster Invitationals, but now everybody calls themselves a pro. But for the sake of the conversation, pro anglers in this country are basically defined by the Bassmaster Elite Series, pros, and the Bass Pro Tour pros. If you are one of those anglers out there and you have to rely on technology and forward-facing sonar for your success, you cannot call yourself a pro. Professional anglers, the entire earning the title of being a professional bass angler should mean that you're the best in the world, and that you should not have to have a crutch to locate fish for you. And that's what it's transcended into, because now the majority of the Bassmaster Elite Series pros that have enjoyed success primarily over the past 2 or 3 years, they have had a piece of technology show them where to fish at, show them where the bass are, show them how to generate the strike. They have now earned that through the art form of creating yourself as a professional angler that normally has taken time and time-tested, proven ways, decades to learn. So I think it's a joke anymore that we call anglers that basically have built their careers around technology, forward-facing sonar primarily what we're talking about here. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We have got to have this paradigm shift where we have a redefinition of what professional anglers are. Now, first of all, out of all the bass anglers in this country, the millions of bass anglers that are here, and the tens, I don't know, maybe hundreds of thousands of professional anglers out there, there's a difference between there should be, in other words, there's not right now, but there should be a difference between being a professional angler and being a AAA angler or a weekend angler, bass club angler, BFL angler, whatever. Those anglers should be held to a higher standard in terms of that it should be more difficult for them to compete and succeed. Let me give you a prime example, guys, of bowling. I used to bowl a lot. I used to bowl in 3 leagues a week. I tried to earn my PBA card back in the early 80s, and I decided to get into fishing, but that's another story, so I sort of left bowling behind. But what you have in bowling is this, and this is what separates the professional bowlers from the house bowlers. There's 2 different type of what they call lane conditions in a bowling alley, as far as how they lay the oil down on a bowling alley lane. Now, in the house conditions, which are your bowling leagues, just the average dude that's in a bowling league, they have a house condition, and these house conditions are very, very user-friendly. In other words, let's say, for example, if you throw your ball off to the right a little bit, they purposely make it a little bit drier on the outsides of the lane so the ball will hook back in towards the head pin. And then if you accidentally throw your ball too far to the left, they lay the oil down where it's real slick to the left, so your ball doesn't hook and it'll still hit the head pin. So it makes it much easier. And all these dudes out there that have 220 averages or 200 averages in a house condition, this is sort of fake success. It's not real, because on a professional condition, they have what's called professional lane patterns. And these oil patterns are set up where they're not user friendly at all. In other words, if you throw it off to the right a little bit more, you're not going to be anywhere near the head pin. If you throw it to the left a little bit more, you're not going to be anywhere near the head pin. You have to throw it perfect in order to hit that head pin, because you're a professional bowler. That's the standard they set. It's harder, it's more difficult to be a professional bowler with a professional lane pattern out there. It's the same with bass fishing, guys. Professional anglers should not be able to use the crutch of the cheater box in order to achieve their success. If you're one of the pros out there that have earned success and earned a name through forward-facing sonar, don't pat yourself on the back, because it ain't nothing special. Yeah, you may have mastered some type of an artificial technology that allows you to have, fake success. That's nothing to be proud of. The only way that you can really classify yourself, and the only way that any entity within the fishing industry should classify a pro as, is if somebody is a professional angler and they did it the hard way. And doing it the hard way means that you have to fish to find fish. You don't fish areas that technology has shown you where the bass are at. That doesn't make any sense at all. You're not a pro if you do that. Pro anglers should have a more intimate understanding, knowledge of bass movement, bass seasonal patterns, personality, moods, everything about the environmental conditions that affect how bass bite and the lure categories that trigger those strikes. They should be a master of that. They should be a master far and above the average bass angler in this country. But they're not right now, because I can promise you guys, you take whoever you think the number one Bassmaster Elite Series pro is right now that has earned their success through spotlighting. Pick them out. I don't care who it is. If one dude out there, if you can think of one dude that primarily is associated with forward-facing sonar for their success, give me 10 minutes with them and I will make them look like a freaking kindergartner. They will not be able to answer the questions I pose to them about bass movement behavior. I can promise you, because they don't have the experience. I would make them look like an absolute fool with a line of questioning that I could give to them. Now, this is the problem we have inherently, because now what happens is, since we have created this environment where success has been earned through, it's fake success is what it is, it diminishes the terminology and what a professional angler has within the eyes of the public. That is why professional bass angling right now is struggling on all levels. It's struggling to gain and maintain sponsorships. It's struggling to gain and maintain the credibility within the general fishing population. The enthusiasm behind it is a all-time low, and that is because of technology. People realize that there's nothing special about these dudes. They simply have ridden technology to success. And until the tournament organizations understand this, they are headed down a freaking dark rabbit hole they're never going to get out of, because it diminishes what everything about professional bass fishing has traditionally been, in terms of these guys should be artists, not artists at turning on a video game screen and interpreting blips on a video game screen. That's not an art form. We're talking about the true art form that requires decades of time on the water, honing your craft with the thousands of different variables involved with that have to come together to be successful. So anyway, guys, a few thoughts this morning. I'm going to get in here and get a workout in real quick. Hope you guys are doing well. Talk later.